Redshift here, doing my part to shift perceptions out of the pink and into the red.
Forgotten Fury in here. I'll kill you with my teacup.
Of course.
Welcome back to the episodes where or the series rather, where I respond to Redshifts every video. Alright, let's get in there. I miss you and other things. See my comments in Redshift Paradox 2 pertaining to Jews to see who are really Jews, and you'll see what I mean by really. Not just genetically ethnic Jewish people or those adherents of the Jesus-rejecting religion of Judaism. What I mean by real Jews is spiritual Jews, aka Christians, which means to say that a Judaism-espousing ethnic Jew is less Jewish in biblical context than a heathen, or not a heathen, a Gentile Christian. Alright? So now you know. Briefwald's law is in effect, and so it makes sense that matrilineality in Judaism would lend itself to undue carnality in them, which I believe that you mentioned, Mr. Redshift. I like your repeated mentions of the Rothschild emperor family and our corrupt government, especially the part about overthrowing the government, or at least causing extreme reforms by force. I fear neither death nor pain. I'm virtually unemployable, and although I'm working on it, I not only won't hold back, but I won't put up with cowards, liars, and weaklings. But I also have no wife and no children, so I'm fairly single-minded. You're very insightful, a very insightful person, Ragnar the Redshift, and I largely agree with this video. As I said in Redshift Paradox 3, abortion is literally human sacrifice, as the reasons given for it illustrate. Genetically engineering people is unnecessary, I believe, if one properly applies epigenetics in environmental and personal development. Also, God gave humans and not angels free will, so you are wrong in that religious people leave everything up to God, I believe. This would be just the same and just as silly as saying that self-worshipping atheists rely on science and egoism for everything. Straw man in true form. See my earlier statements about the soul in Redshift Paradox 2, especially that you were using the Western and I'm using the Hebrew definition of soul. Teen Mom 2 Reunion Special. I was railing against the TPP, NAFTA, and economic globalization of American jobs, and I was pro self-sufficiency, both in a practical and in an ideological way, because like I was always like, why are you just sitting over there while we're working, kind of a kid. Or I was the kid who would be like, man, do your own work, I do mine. So even as a kid, I wasn't down with that. So I supported, in grade school, I participated in a mock election between Ross Perot and Bill Clinton, and I supported Ross Perot because I remember thinking, I don't like Bill Clinton, and I think he's lying. That's what I remember thinking, is I think he's lying. And I continue to support those same positions, or not support them, depending, to this very day, because we can't underbid slave labor, literal slave labor. See the current world slavery map. Now can we? So just think, if I hadn't skipped kindergarten and first grade, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to participate in that mock election. Like I said, I remember thinking about Crazy Willie that he was lying. Turned out it was true. MGTOW, okay, well, a lot of the things he said were lies. MGTOW Grot response. Our economy won't collapse, I believe, in our lifetimes. Traditionalist men are very soft, which is why I stopped going to church. Mostly because I can't afford a woman. I'll go into that more in another video. Plus, it's not safe. They're too soft. They're not even using their voting power. So, as I covered in my commentary in Redshift Paradox 3 pertaining to your video Unrealistic Expectations, I agree with your opinions found in this upload, except for that giving women incentives won't help if the economy never collapses. Thus, like you said before, the need for either harsh soft reforms or violent overthrow of the government, which would be as sad as it is risky as it is dangerous for the rights that we currently have left. But I'm ready just the same. Your video, you have sown the wind, now you shall reap MGTOW. The title of this upload is reminiscent of verse 7 in chapter 8 of the book of Hosea, which I very much liked in the Holy Bible, which pertains to the apostasy of Israel. A most fitting analogy, by the way, in the light of the video's subject matter, considering that apostasy is a form of betrayal. I agreed with the entire upload, with the exception of the following caveat. You say that women are unaware of their desire to be put in check. I strongly disagree. My opinion is that they do know and they are aware, not just of the aforementioned, but of the Violence Against Women Act, police, laws, government, and other people being on women's side and against men. According to some studies, women and not men receive a boost in testosterone by wielding power, and testosterone is directly linked to the sex drive, yes? So, virtually all women and very few men put forth constant efforts to usurp authority over men. Women will literally and figuratively destroy men's genitals whenever possible. I'll probably make a video about that. They've literally tried to destroy my testicles just because they could get away with it. Of course, they got the wrath, but that's not the point. They still wanted to. Men would never do that kind of thing to women. Or very rarely, if ever, but the common woman enjoys it. They're incessant in relational aggression in spite of claims of perpetual innocence are why I occasionally call myself a warring bachelor. Black Pigeon Speaks is mistaken. This video, beside the fact that the US of A is the present, as we could say, it's the present, no one may deny that, I believe, whereas you say that Asia is the future, which I disagree because if nothing else, they're pollution. Especially in China. Thus, I believe that the USA is going to be the future. An object in motion tends to stay in motion, so on and so forth. The fact that Bitcoin is not a precious metal and cannot be reconstituted makes it inferior to precious metals for that reason. Besides these things and pertaining to Black Pigeon Speaks, you rustle those Jimmy's Redshift. You rustle them to the ground. I liked how you got down through there on him, and I was sitting back going, yeah, that's what's up. That is what's up. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you put it to him on that. Did he? He probably never responded back, but I think you should troll it to him just to make sure. About the question of a future one world system, my say is Jesus of Nazareth or Philosopher King. Yeah. Akasha is an initiated witch, Illuminati symbolism, and die young. Demons and Satan have legitimate power, as do their servants. See Job from the Bible. Or the ill effect of doing evil on the earth, as shown with Balaam the sorcerer from the Bible, who blessed but would not curse the Israelite people for good reason. However, after a talking donkey saved his life, and even hurt itself in so doing, because an angel was going to cut Balaam down, even then, he still gave bad advice to God's people, which led them, arguably, to sexual immorality and the eating of things sacrificed to idols. They should have just left those Moabite women alone, as with the professional musician women that you mentioned in this video. Such is the nature of self-worshipping atheists, Satanists, and even the worst of Christians alike. Because, like I say, the Israelite people were supposedly Christians, and they were just, let's go ahead and go astray. Right? And it's like, no, don't. Okay, so you got to ignore these women and these Balaams out here. Okay, so this is all very sad, but the way out is clear. Your video, Miss Wiggin, you alluded to my favorite quote from Ender Wiggin. Did I share it with you? I hope so. When you say evolution, I hear relative adaptation of creation, which came with its own modifiable template. My favorite quote by the character Bean from the book Ender's Shadow is as follows. The thing about brothers is you are supposed to take turns being the keeper. Sometimes you get to sit down and be the brother who is kept.
I heard everything she said.
Your video, wiping women off the face of the earth. Genes for infidelity, genes for stupidity, genes for psychopathy, genetic editing. You've got to be kidding me, sir. Simple environmental changes and incentives for better choices are all that is needed to bring about the changes that you desire. whether they be epigenetic, outcome, or otherwise. See all of human history for details. MGTOW is unsustainable, and androcentric or hard complementarian societies are the future. Otherwise, I liked and agreed with this upload. Evil has a strong short game, but God always wins in the end, and God is the most intelligent and powerful being in existence. His people will prosper. In praise of Chris Cantu, I unsubscribed from his channel after a few videos. I see him as a run-of-the-mill grifter who, although he receives affirmative action before he left the States, he was too proud and lazy to get a lower tier job, as I've done many times. His red pill coin is a scam. He takes steroids instead of refraining from masturbation and running to increase his metabolic fitness and or testosterone levels respectively. Because masturbation abstinence is shown to raise free testosterone levels, and running is shown to increase metabolic fitness. So what's his excuse? And I even told him as much, and he just texts back a little arm, like strong arm emoji. I was like, okay, so you're just going to continue on? Okay. I corrected him in accordance with the Bible pertaining to his thing that he was running around saying that angels may possess a person and you're doing God's work out here. And it was like, dude, that's unbiblical, because that would make them demons, because they don't have free will to usurp a man's free will. And if they take it, they're demons. So it was like, man, you what? So I got on him about that, and maybe he stopped. Like I said, man, he's just saying whatever cultish words he needs to get them bills paid, which is abominable. I'm not impressed by his insight, nor am I a fan. Your video first, love, another miscellany video. I liked your list of possible reasons for China having more than one empire, although you forgot the never-ending supply of slave labor that they still have access to to this very day, and also their rampant pollution, which would work against them. I mean, it's bad. Thank you for the vote of confidence in this video pertaining to my yet absent providing ability. I don't get affirmative action, and I'm pretty much a screw-up. I'm doing my very best each and every day to change things, but I was dealt a pretty bad hand in life, in spite of my strongest efforts from my youth. Buddha said it, Redshift said it, Jesus said it, and it's worked pretty well so far. Men should be in charge of women. Fortunately, I don't care about women, so it doesn't really matter to me whether they are happy or sad, alive or dead. They get affirmative action, and they're immune to selective service, and they just do whatever they want. So as far as I'm concerned, they can just go marry Uncle Daddy Government for all I care. There it is. If you think Redshift is the best and that he should keep making videos about everything under the sun, then go ahead and hit the like button. If you think Redshift is too late to be great and he won't amount to anything, well, go on ahead and hit the dislike button. I'm Forgotten Furian, and I'll kill you with my teacup. That's my thing. Catch you in the next one. Bye.
From our history when he led his kin away from the Velothi path.
You know him then? Battle scar.
What's wrong, George? You ever wonder when it's time to stop living up here, start living down here? Yo, but what if we stop living over here and move over there?
Shit, my aunt Shanika used to live over there, man. But that bitch got evicted, though.
Word?
Yeah, this is.
What for?
Mice.
Mice? I thought she had rats.
No, man, rats are outside, mice are inside.
Yo, but what if a mouse goes outside, it's become a rat, and if a rat is in the house, is it a mouse?
I ain't never seen no mouse outside. That's what I'm saying.
That's because it's a rat, fool.
Damn. Yeah, you might have just made a fact just now. That's some real shit.
Is our home.
Absolutely not.
There's no such thing as a killer videotape.
Hell yeah, there is. In fact, I know somebody can definitely help you with that.
You do who?
Wait up, man, I heard Jamal from 90th Street. He watched that tape last week, and this morning he woke up dead.
How the hell do you wake up dead?
Because you're alive when you go to sleep.
Wait, just tell me you can
So you
help
telling
me.
me that you can go to bed dead and wake up alive?
You can't go to bed dead, man. That shit would be redundant.
Just tell me
No,
who.
what? Because you can go to bed and not be dead, and you can die but not be in the bed.
But you are in the bed, man. That's how you wake up dead in the first place, fool.
Damn! That's some quantum shit right there, man.
What are you talking about?
You should be teaching classes. You stay dropping out.
Just tell me who can help me.
My aunt Shanika, her man and all this weird shit. They saw the tape before anybody else knew about it. Matter of fact, you should go see them tonight. Yo, don't joke about zombies. That shit there, that's real.
Yo, you know the shot.